We are back with a brand new video. What is good, Heat Nation? We are back. The Miami Heat season is going to be starting very soon. Training camp is going to start very soon. Media day was just today. I'm going to be talking all about media day. Some Jae Crowder rumors, because apparently him and the Suns are not going to be on the same page, and they're going to try to find a new home for him. Before we get into it, though, I do want to apologize if I do sound a little under the weather. I am right now, so that's why I couldn't really get any videos out in the past couple days, but I'm doing a lot better. So yeah, more videos will be coming as the season ramps up. But let's get right into it. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, if you guys want to see more Heat content. As the season starts, I will be uploading more than just once a week, and I will be uploading recaps, previews for games, player breakdowns, all that stuff. So let's get right into it, man. Follow my Twitter as well in the description. But yeah, so we'll start off with Jae Crowder, because I think Jae Crowder, we won't have to talk too much about that. The majority of the video is going to be about media day. But Jae Crowder, apparently, I mean, we kind of all knew this based off of how he was acting on social media. He was literally like throwing so many hints that he didn't want to be there. And yeah, I mean, he tweeted saying that he wouldn't be there for training camp. And the Suns and him have mutually agreed to part ways, and they will find a new destination for Jae Crowder very soon. So he's on the block. And you know, naturally, a lot of Heat fans, a lot of NBA fans are penciling the Heat as the next destination for Jae Crowder. And, you know, according to the man himself, he would love to come back here. You know, there's been a lot of sources saying he would welcome a return to the Heat. He himself is liked numerous times on Twitter, like Heat-related information with him in it. He's pinned comments on Instagram about returning to the Heat. Like, he wants to come back. Will he come back? I just don't know, because the problem with trading for Jae Crowder is that, number one, he's making $10.2 million, if I'm not mistaken, and you know, we don't really have a lot of premium assets that the Suns would want in order for us to make up that money. If we were to just make up that money, if we were to just get Jae Crowder on the team without getting an external piece from the Suns, it would be like for Haywood Highsmith and a couple of other bottom of the barrel rotational pieces. And I don't really know what the Suns would want to do with any of those guys, but at the same time, I've seen a lot of people talking about Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson makes about 18-19 mil, so you would have to take on a Dario Saric or someone like that in order for the money to match up. It would have to be like, I think a trade that I saw was Saric and Jae Crowder for Duncan and Nikola Jovic. I just don't know why we should be rushing to trade for Jae Crowder. You know, we already know what he does. We already know what he brings. He's a very good role player. I'm not going to deny that. And honestly, I mean, he wouldn't be a bad option to have, because we're going to get to media day, but we don't have a lot at power forward, and Jimmy has already stated that, you know, he's not really interested in playing the forward position unless he really has to. So, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way, but at the same time, like, do you want to give away Duncan Robinson's contract, which you could use in so many different trades? Like, you need that contract if you want to make a big-time trade, or a trade for a player who's better than Jae Crowder. And if that player becomes available on the market, apart from Jimmy, Bam, and Kyle, where is the big contract on our team if Duncan Robinson gets traded to make the money match? We don't have that. So is it really worth trading for Jae Crowder right now and giving away Duncan Robinson's contract, which you could use in a trade later at the deadline? I don't really know. But, you know, I don't really think that the Heat should be I don't think we're desperate for Jae Crowder. Jae Crowder is not Kevin Durant. You know, we don't have to be making a bunch of alterations and, you know, finding different scenarios to trade for him. Like, he does not really move us over the top, in my opinion. And honestly, this might be unpopular, but I don't really see much of a drop-off in Caleb Martin than Jae Crowder. Obviously, it would make our power forward position a lot deeper, but apart from that, like, I don't really see, you know, the appeal in trading for a Jae Crowder. Besides the fact that the power forward position is thin, I'll give you guys that. But Jae Crowder, he's a solid defender. I think a lot of people think he's a stopper. He's never been a stopper. He's a solid, okay, good, above average defender. And apart from that, like, he is literally a 3-and-D player, but his three-point shot is extremely inconsistent. It was not really that great with the Suns last season. Even with Miami, like, we saw in the bubble, there was like one series where he was extremely hot and one series where he was extremely cold. And I think it was Milwaukee and Boston. He was hot in one of those series. He was cold in the other one. And it's very on and off. Like, you don't really know when Jae Crowder is making his shots. Now, obviously, you know, the positives for training for Jae Crowder is that he knows the system, he's familiar with the team's identity and all that. But I don't think we're in any rush to trade for Jae Crowder. So if you have to weigh out all your options before doing it, I think that's the smartest thing to do. I don't think we should be jumping to trade for Jae Crowder. He's not a star. He's not anywhere near that. So if you get Jae Crowder, that's cool. If not, I'm not going to be too fussed about it. I still, like I said, I don't really see much of a drop-off in Caleb Martin. He is a lot more athletic. He's a better defender in my opinion. And the only thing that Jae Crowder has on him is his jump shot. And I trust Caleb Martin to improve his jump shot day by day. But yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. That's what I have to say about Jae Crowder, man. If you guys want Jae Crowder on the team, I wouldn't be against you, obviously. It's like we haven't really gotten anything this season. So a lot of Heat fans just want something. And Jae Crowder is, I guess, something. So I wouldn't blame any Heat fan who wants Jae Crowder on the team. But to me, I just don't really think, you know, he moves anything over the top for us. Like, he's a downgrade from PJ Tucker anyway. So why should we even give up assets, that many assets for him? I'm not really too sure. I'm definitely not wanting to give up a first-round pick for Jae Crowder. There's no way I'm willing to give up a first-round pick. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm sure, you know, more news will come out in the next couple of days as he gets traded soon. On to media day. Jimmy Butler was the first one to speak. Came in with his new hairdo. He doesn't think he says they're not extensions, but I think they're extensions. I don't know. They're definitely extensions. Clean shaven face. He calls himself the babyface assassin now, and yeah, I mean he's back for another year. I think it's year 12 for him. And listen, man, I think the first question that he was asked was about playing the 4, and he immediately like shot that down. He was like, if I have to, then sure, but I'm not playing the 4. Like, that's basically what he said. So I don't think Jimmy at the 4, for a lot of people who are experimenting with the rotational the rotation as far as hypotheticals, I don't think it's gonna happen based on his reaction by itself. And like I don't know, I just don't see it happening now. It kind of didn't make sense to me because of the fact that he was going to be, you know, he would have to use a lot more of his energy in the regular season, and I don't really think he wants to do that, especially because we need him for the playoffs. So the idea never really made sense to me in the first place. I guess the people who were talking about it wanted the Heat to maximize the amount of talent as possible in the starting lineup, and I guess that's where the theory came from. But I don't think it's going to happen based on his response. And yeah, I mean, apart from that, he just talked about his life, his off season. He had a good off season, man. He was away from the game for a little bit, working on his coffee things in Colombia, if I'm not mistaken, and spending time with his daughter. Apart from that, I mean, we all know what Jimmy's going to bring to the court when he's on the court, man. He's the leader of this team, so he's going to bring a lot of energy, toughness, everything that Jimmy Butler does. We don't have to really talk about what he does. We all know it. Bam Adebayo, number 2. The biggest talking point for me was the fact that he said that he was going to try to take 18 shots per game. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, we've seen this so many times from Bam. He tells us one thing and he just does not do it. I actually believe that he will do it like this time, because I think a lot of people have been talking about, you know, how there might be a change in roles and Bam is going to have to carry us and stuff like that. Like, I think Bam, this might be, you know, the handing of the keys to Bam, particularly in the regular season. In the playoffs, Jimmy might be the guy again, but in the regular season, I expect Bam to be a lot more, you know, aggressive, take a lot more shots. I think last season, you know, he did have a good season. It was kind of messed up a little bit because of the injury, but apart from that, I thought he had a good season. But he only took 13 shots and he averaged like 19, 20 points. Like, if he took 18 shots, you know, this is a guy who could average 23, 24. That's what I'm looking for him to do. Average 23 to 24 points per game, 9 to 10 rebounds per game, and just give me, you know, just great defense as you always do, good efficiency, take some more mid-range jump shots, and I think we'll be good. So yeah, I'm encouraged by what Bam has said. Obviously, he could just be tricking us all like last year, where he was like, I'm going to be a flat-out scorer or whatever he said last year. But, I mean, even if he averages 20 and 10 again, it's not a bad season. It's just a matter of doing it in the playoffs as well. I think that's where a lot of frustration has been with Bam Adebayo. But I'm excited to see that he is going to put himself to the test and take 18 shots a game. Obviously, Eric Spoelstra was not there. Congratulations to him and his wife for welcoming a new child. I think it's a daughter. But yeah, we did not really hear from him. Kyle Lowry came in, and Kyle Lowry was like, I think the notable thing that I noticed from that Kyle Lowry interview, he came a little late because I think he was doing his physical or something. I think people asked him about like the Pat Riley comments at the end of the season about his weight, and he kind of like shrugged it off. He was like, he has his own opinion, whatever. I know a lot of people didn't like that. I saw the comments on that tweet. I have a group chat with some of my boys, and they were like, nah, like, this is not the right mentality to have. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Kyle Lowry, he's a very interesting character. He does look in really good shape, and I hope he plays really well this season. Kind of has a bounce back year. I think the transition will be a lot smoother this year than it was last year. For a guy who was basically in Toronto for most of his career to come to Miami as in a new team, new situation. I thought it was going to be an easier transition for him because the way Toronto's philosophy and Miami's philosophy, it's very similar. Both teams have great respect for each other. Masai, Pat, these guys, Toronto and Miami, even like right now, Toronto reminds me of Miami post LeBron, like how they just play extremely hard and no matter who they have on the court. And I thought Kyle would fit into this culture a lot smoother, but I think it's been a little tough for him. I think he will, have a better season than he did in his first season, though. So, and he better because we need him, like 100%. So, yeah, he made some comments. Tyler Hero, I think he was asked about whether he wants to be in the starting lineup again. This time, I think at the end of the season, he was like, yeah, I want to start. But this time he was like, I'll just do whatever the team tells me to. He kept it professional. And then didn't really talk about his extension. He was like, I'll leave my agent to talk about that or whatever. Max Strus made a comment about how he wants to stay in bounds more. That was funny, but he also said that he lost, or he's like the leanest he is right now, but he's also the strongest. So that's a good thing for Max Strus. And then Caleb Martin, who we were talking about earlier, has gained 8 pounds of muscle. So he's definitely bulking up to play that 4 position, which I like. I really, really like, that he's been doing that. Omer Yurtseven has talked about how, in practice, they've been running lineups with him and Bam together, which kind of should indicate to you that, in the regular season, you might see a Bam and Omer front court. That's going to mean that one of them is going to have to shoot the 3. I think it's more likely to be Omer than Bam. But none of them really shot 3s last season in the regular season. So we'll see what happens with that. And apart from that, I think I covered everyone who really gave meaningful, or not meaningful, but answers to your noteworthy answers. I don't want to say that all these answers were meaningless, but they're all meaningful. But the noteworthy ones, I think I covered them all. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, the team's going to fly out to Bahamas now for training camp. I think it's, a lot of people talked about how the continuity is a positivity in this locker room because everyone really knows how to play with each other. Like, there's no really new piece they have to integrate. Didn't hear much from Jovic or any of the rookies, the new guys, but I'm sure we'll hear some more as the day goes on. It's only like 1-2 p.m., so like it's very early. But I think that, it is a positive that we have a lot of the same faces because it's continuity, but at the same time, I don't really know. The team seems really confident, but it's very hard for me to see this team overachieving from what they did last season with the worst roster. Maybe that's just me, like just being pessimistic, but like at the same time, we didn't really make any improvements. A lot of these other teams did. I know there was a whole fiasco with the Celtics coaching thing, so that's going to take a hit on them, especially with Gallinari's ACL, Robert Williams' surgery. But the Bucks have their guys back. The Sixers brought in, PJ Tucker, DeAnthony Melton, some of these other guys. It's going to be a tough season, but I think the Heat will be ready for it. We're going to be in the mix 100%, and I'm super excited, man. So if you guys want to just get coverage of the season from anywhere, I suggest you guys subscribe to my channel because I will be, posting as many videos as I can during the season about lineup changes, about players, about previews, recaps of games, all that good stuff. So if you guys are interested in Heat basketball, this is the place you want to be. With that, we're probably going to end the video there. Talked about Jae Crowder, talked about the media day. And yeah, I'm super excited for this season. Let's make it a great season. I'm excited to do it with you guys too, because you guys are the reason I do and make videos about my channel. So yeah, shout out to you guys for the support and all the love you guys have been showing. Let's get to 3,000 as soon as possible, man. I'll see y'all later as always. Peace.